In this video, I'm taking you along as I create a new artwork right from the start. I always begin with the design phase, and that means gathering inspiration, thinking about what I want to say with the piece, just playing around with different ideas. I've made a few inspiration books where I collect things that inspire me. I give you a glimpse in some of these books. I collect in these books really everything I like. For example, a certain composition, a color or color combination, a nice painting style, a nice drawing, or something funny, a catchy text, everything. I really recommend doing this, and of course, you can also do it digitally. I really use them a lot. I'm planning to make more videos about the whole inspiration process and also about artists that really inspire me. So if you're into that, make sure to follow my channel and don't miss anything. Alright, let's start sketching. Most of the designing happens on my iPad. I love how I can jump back to old sketches, duplicate versions, and try out all sorts of tools, pencils, brushes, ink, you name it. Sometimes I sketch on paper too, especially when I'm in a car. I get super anxious as a passenger, so instead of watching the road, I focus on drawing, and that really helps. One theme that keeps coming back in my work is memento mori. It's Latin for remember that you will die. It sounds heavy, I know, but for me it's more about the reminder to enjoy life, which can be hard sometimes. In this piece, the woman knows exactly what she's doing. She's trying to hold on to happiness and keep everything together with tape. And she's actually manages to do it. I usually draw faces, mostly from imagination, sometimes based on a photo. They can look pretty realistic or slightly surreal, depending on the mood. When it comes to color, I mix everything by hand, so the final tones often change while I'm painting. But once something feels right, I go for it. I want to paint this design on a wooden panel. And because I really care about not wasting material and using what's already out there, I go for wood I find at flea markets or secondhand shops. And some of the other beautiful stuff I find there ends up in my web shop, toughtofind.nl. You find the link in the description. Time to choose the panel. I can go for something like this or something light and smaller, something bigger and heavier, but I think I go for this one. Good size. The next step is measuring the wooden panel and adjusting my design to fit. I do this in Photoshop. First, I open my design. Then I create a new file that matches the exact size of the wood. I move the design onto the new canvas and resize it to fit. Since my printer can only handle A4 size, I have to split the design into two parts. So I open a new A4 file and place the top half of the design on it. Then I do the same for the bottom half. And now it's just a matter of printing them out. Once both halves are printed, I trim the edges so I can line them up perfectly. Now we are ready to transfer the design onto the wooden panel. First, I apply a layer of gesso. That way, the lines will show up clearly when I transfer the drawing. Then I place the carbon paper on the wood and place the sketch on top. I use a wet pencil to trace the lines. That helps me see which parts I've already done. I may have gone a little overboard on the tracing. Some areas should really be painted first and then the details on top. But hey, better too much than too little, right? And now we finally get to paint. Normally when I paint on wood I use acrylics, but recently at a flea market I found this big box of gouache paint and I got it for a really great price. So I thought, why not give it a try? It takes a bit of mixing and testing to find the right colors, and even then, they are never exactly the same as my design. But honestly, that's part of the fun. What I really love about painting by hand, as opposite to working digitally, is that you can actually see the brush strokes. You can feel the texture of the wood underneath. Every mark is unique and that gives the piece its own character. Even if I painted this exact same design again, it would still turn out different. And that's exactly what I love about traditional painting. It's one of a kind every time. It looks like I'm just tracing and coloring things in at this point, but there's actually still a lot of creativity involved here. Things like the thickness of the lines, where to go bold, where to keep it subtle, that already changes the whole feel of the piece. And mixing the right shades, layering the colors, adding little textures in the paint. These small choices make a big difference. They bring the artwork to life and give it personality, even within the structure of the original sketch. And here is the final piece. I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and I hope to see you next time.